A court of fairies and fiction. Akafath Girls Podcast. Hosts Mel and Liv. Episode 10, Crossover Conundrums.
Wait, what's on that?
Blood.
Is that lava?
Blood.
Blood?
Blood.
I love it. I love it. And I loved your orange ones earlier today. Oh, they were
Thanks.
so cute.
I was like trying to match this shirt because I found it when I cleaned my room and I was like, I've only worn this like once.
I love it. It's like very fall and autumn court. It's my fave.
But yeah, I just started recording. But anyways, I found this blog that Spark notes basically every chapter of the books. And Akawar always has the most information, so I'm always looking at stuff for Akawar or whatever. And I believe her, because why not?
Yeah.
So I like screenshotted a bunch of little sections of stuff that I either forgot or that I just kind of skate over.
Okay.
And there's a couple weird ones.
Ooh.
And so I question stuff now. Like, did I actually ever read these books?
Really?
Only like 10 times, and I still find shit that I just don't remember at all. But one of them is chapter 37 of Akawar.
Oh,
So,
I want to follow along with this. Hold on.
It's just a Spark Notes version, so it's not the whole thing, but
chapter 37.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You can be my checker.
I love it. 49. Hold on. 45. Sorry. 35. I keep flipping over it. 37.
Okay. So in 36, I guess, which again, I don't remember, but then again, I don't really pay attention to Reese. I don't care. So, apparently there was a damper on his power, kind of like under the mountain, and he didn't know where it was coming from. And yeah, it says Farah this is the end of 36. It says Farah tries to get into Reese's mind to see what he is doing. He is hunting whatever is causing the damper on his powers. He locates the ship it is coming from, and the King of Highburn is there. And then chapter 37, it says Reese knew it was a trap to see which High Lord would come first. Farah is in Reese's mind, telling him to kill the king and be done with it. Reese says it isn't that simple. The king is angry about what Farah did to Branna and Dagden, obviously. This is the part that I found was interesting. The king says it will take everything Reese has to try and stop him, and it won't be enough. He says that he will take Farah as she mourns over his corpse.
What?
And then it says, obviously he was mad about them not wanting to be loyalists or whatever. Reese tries to attack the king, but he's just an illusion, didn't actually come. The king says that this is just a taste of what is to come. Then he disappears, as does the damper on Reese's magic.
How did he even Okay, let me try and find
Really scary. I'm so right about this. Like, he has to be the Underking. Because he was mad. He was big mad that Nesta stole something from the cauldron, that he sent his ravens to collect her, to put it back. And we know that she has death powers.
But what did she, I don't understand, so he was mad that Nesta stole the death powers?
I don't know. It's all weird. Tied to, powers and everything. But anyway, I thought that was interesting.
How did you know that? No, it is interesting.
He will take Farah as she mourns over his corpse, and then the fact that he was also an illusion, and it's just a taste of what is to come.
I know, I see it here, but I don't see that about Feyre.
It was the
Where
first paragraph, so maybe the first sort of
of chapter 37?
yeah. It's all kind of spark noted.
I wonder. I'm just trying to find it.
I'm mad that, like I said, I'm mad that I have the bundle version because it doesn't separate the books.
Yeah.
Ugh, so annoying.
I don't think that's in here though. Unless
Actually,
it was
hold
one
on.
of-
I'm in Akawar. Let me go back to 37 on my Kindle. See if I can find it. 39. I feel like I like just read this fucking yeah, I like just read this. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm at the end of chapter 36. And I'm
Trap.
looking.
Smart. Just killing me.
Slowly,
Done with
Reese
it.
surveyed the helmeted heads before him, counted the weapons. Not that it mattered. All of them soon be crimson mist or food for the beast, circling in the waters around the clashing armada, and then the ship would be splinters on the waves. Once he was done, it was not the common foot soldiers he sought out, because where power should have been thrumming from him, obliterating them, it was a muffled rumble, stifled. He tracked it here, the strange damper on his power, on the siphon's power,
Okay.
as if some sort of spell had turned his power oily in his grip. Oily in his
Okay.
what does that like harder to wield? It was why the battle had gone on so long. The clean, precise blow he'd intended to land upon arriving, the single shot that would have saved so many lives, it slipped from his grasp. So he'd hunted it down the damper, battled his way across Adriata to get to his ship, and now exhaustion started to rip at him. The armed soldiers around Rhysand parted, and he appeared. Trapped within Rhysand's mind, his powers stifled and body weary, there was nothing I could do but watch as the King of Hybern stepped from the below decks and smiled at my mate. But I don't see the favorite part is I don't see it in chapter 27 unless I missed it.
37, you mean? Ooh.
Was it in chapter 37?
So I'm going through chapter 37. He says, is it bad that I'm like kind of cheering for him here?
Who, Rhys or the
He
King of Hybern?
says, the king.
No.
He says,
Makes it more
such a
interesting.
remarkable girl, your mate. First Amarantha, then my pet, the adder, and then she broke past all the wards around my palace to aid your escape, not to mention my niece and nephew. Rage starting to blacken his eyes. She's savaged
Ooh.
Dagden and Branna, and for what reason? Perhaps you should ask Tamlin, Rhys raised a brow. Where is he, by the way? Tamlin. Hybern savored the name, the sound of it. He has plans for you after what you and your mate did to him and to his court. What a mess for him to clean up, though she certainly made it easier for me to plant more of my troops in his lands.
Oh, wait, I totally forgot about that.
Mother above, I had done that. Ugh. Fuck off.
See, she even says it here. Mother above, I've done that.
She'll be happy to hear that. Where did her gifts come from, I wonder, or who? The king knew what I was, what I possessed. I'm a lucky male to have her as my mate. For the little time you have remaining. It will take everything you know to try to stop me, everything you have, and it still won't be enough. And when you have given everything and you are dead, Rhysand, when your mate is mourning over your corpse, I am going to take her.
So he did say it here. Okay, a couple of things that I just wanted to talk about though is that Tamlin was right. Hello, guys.
No shit about
like
everything.
literally, the King of Hybern is saying, "I am going to take her."
Yeah, and then he says, "Perhaps I'll give her to Tamlin when I'm done."
I love it. I fucking love it.
Oh god. The spell will wear off. Another little trick I picked up while rotting away in Hibern. What the fuck is this guy's name?
I want to know it too.
I don't know what you're talking about, Reese said. Then they smiled at each other. Reese asked why. The king knew what he meant. And then he said there was room at the table for everyone, but you didn't want to be a loyalist, blah, 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 blah. We shall reclaim what is ours, and then Reese says you can try. And then his power went right through him. Yeah, you said. That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, I know.
Okay, wait a second though. Oh, go ahead.
So I know how everyone is like, including you, is like, well, Elaine's vision was from the Hibern War and all of this stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not. So like, what if Hibern's not vision, but what if Hibern's wasn't talking about his war? What if, because everyone's like, what if Phazan actually dies in the next couple books or whatever with Koshi? Because we know.
I would be shocked.
I mean, I don't know. I would be shocked too. I don't think so. But I mean, Feyre could be mourning over Reese for a little bit again. I don't know. Feyre's died how many fucking times?
Yeah, Feyre's like on her like third or fourth life. I mean, I think she's got 7 of them, but
she is. But anyway, that was one of the weird parts. And then the other one, I kind of went back and forth, but the other one was chapter 33, when Elaine is babbling on about Vasa and the girls that Koshi possesses and everything. And I didn't remember her. I remembered her saying that she was different from all the other girls, obviously, like Bird of Fire or whatever. But apparently, she said that the other females are different. They have white feathers.
Interesting. Interesting.
Another fucking Asteri thing. It says, Elaine says the queen is near a lake deep in the continent, hidden among the mountains and forests, obviously Koshi's lake. But the other women are different. They have white feathers. However, the 6th queen is young, mid-20s, and is known as Vasa. And then Lucian offers to find him and says his eye can see things that others can't, which that just makes me scared for Lucian. But
I know.
I find it funny how the anti-Aleutian people are like, they have nothing in common. They have nothing in common. And just aside from the sunshine thing, chapter 32 ends with Azriel realizing that the cauldron made Elaine a seer. Chapter 33 ends with Lucian saying that his eye can see things others can't. So, ba-boom.
I love that.
They are both seers in different ways.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And then
also, okay, wait a second though. I love this too. And I read this. Did we talk about this the other day? Elaine shifted her face toward him another blink. They sold her to some darkness, to some sorcerer lord.
Yeah.
I can never see him what he is. There is an onyx box.
Yeah, the fucking box.
Is that the same box from Crescent City?
Well, so this is part of the reason why I think Koshi's the astronomer, because that was the box that the fire sprites and Ariadne was in, and everyone's like, Ariadne has to be a big part of Crescent City 3.
Yeah.
But I don't know how she can be when she's bound to the Viper Queen like Therian now. Oh, did you not know that?
I did not. I did not know that. But
yeah, she like, yeah. she wanted to keep her freedom, but in keeping her freedom, she got to choose who she worked for or whatever, so she chose to fight in the Viper Queen's ring.
Who was it between? The Viper Queen and who? Bryce?
No, well, she was afraid of the astronomer, like, catching her again, I guess. So she gave herself to the Viper Queen. Yeah.
She was super sketch, and I didn't like her one bit. Does she get any better?
That's the thing. It, like, it, the scene with her ends at the Viper Queen's office with, not Ethan, Flynn. Flynn kind of liked her or whatever. With Flynn going like, I'm coming back for you or whatever. And then he has to go and do whatever to help everyone else. They were going to look over the footage on the computer or something like that. And that's literally the last scene with her.
Is it really?
He's like,
She
I'm
also-
coming back for you.
I know.
And
Which
she's
is
like,
interesting.
whatever.
So is there like a mate bond between him and Ariadne?
Don't know. Can you imagine his parents being like, you're fucking made into a dragon?
A dragon, you freak? Like, I know, I like couldn't tell if it was like romantic or if he was just like being like threatening, like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't
No,
tell.
I think Flynn actually has a thing for her. I think she's just totally numb. She just feels totally numb to me.
Yeah.
I don't hate her, just taking in account her trauma. Like, people hate Nesta for being mean, like Ariadne for being mean, or what. Like, I don't hate her. She's just whatever to me right now. I think
Yeah.
she has a lot of potential
Yeah,
that's
really?
unexplored. Yeah, so I don't know. And I kind of see a mirror, kind of, um, not like a mate mirror, but like, I don't know, vibes or whatever between like Flynn and Ariadne, and then like Tamlin and Lucian. Do you see that?
I'm trying to think. Explain it. Can you explain it a little bit
Well,
more?
so like Flynn and Tamlin with the earth magic and all of that stuff, they're very fey. They have like they were raised in these very strict, awful families. They never wanted to be whatever they are. And then they just come across these literal fiery like people that kind of change their perspective on things. And I just thought it was kind of cute because I'm like, so is Ariadne gonna be kind of like the Lucian of the group?
I kind of love that though. I don't
Because,
know.
like, what did they immediately have her do? Like, they immediately put her on guard duty. Like, they immediately gave her a job. And I was like, that's what Tamlin did for Lucian. Like, he brought him into his court, he gave him a job for protection. But ultimately, I think Ariadne was just like, you stupid ass Fae can't protect me. I'm gonna go protect myself. You know?
Yes.
So,
I did think that was really shitty that she like left Bryce and Hypaxia. I was like, you suck. I did. She like immediately rubbed me the wrong way.
again, I kind of get it though. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't ask her how she felt. Like, they just kind of were like, oh, dragon, go guard. And she's like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
you didn't ask me what I wanted to do. Like, you don't ask me. Like, they didn't really like ask her how she was feeling or anything because she was just, again, she reminds me of Nesta right out the
Yeah.
gate. Like, she's tough and she like lashes out and she doesn't really feel like she has any feelings.
Yeah.
And then, of course, everyone's afraid of her power and they're terrified of her power. And what's your power? And, that kind of gets
What is
annoying.
it? Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think she was probably just annoyed that they cared more about like what she was rather than who she was. That's
Who
kind
she
of
was.
the vibe that I was getting.
Okay. I got you.
But I get weird vibes. I get like deeper vibes for all of the characters. So it's probably just me. Because I like when I'm reading a book, I can literally put myself in their POV, whether it's written or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weird, but
No, I actually think that's like higher level because like I try to do that. I try to like understand each of the characters,
Yeah.
but I don't think I put myself like actually in their you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in their POVs. Like I
Like
sort of
that's why I don't like Farah, and that's why I don't like Reese, because like when I'm in their POV, I'm like, I can't understand why you're doing this. Like,
yeah.
just out of pettiness or just because you can isn't a good enough reason for me.
Yeah. I was talking with my friends yesterday at my kid's birthday party, right? And
Mhm.
she just had started reading Akatar, right? And I was like, hey, like, what do you think of Pharaoh? What do you think of her? And she was like, oh, I really like her. I was like, you like Feyre? And
Book
she's
one.
like, yeah, no, I know.
You must be on
No,
the first book.
she's on the last book. She's in On Silver Flames. And I was like, really? And she was like, and I didn't say anything, and unprompted, she goes, I feel like she really overreacted when she destroyed the Supreme Court. And I was like, yes, she absolutely
She
overreacted. But then
absolutely did.
she totally did. But then she followed up with like, but I don't have PTSD, so I don't know what I would do. And I was sitting there, I thought that was like really interesting because I was like, okay, I was like,
No.
I'm trying to think. So I
No.
have had, yeah, like I'm pretty sure I have like PTSD from like previous experiences with
Mhm.
certain things. And but like I personally would not go out of my way to destroy
To go
a
back to
core.
the place that you claimed caused it.
And so I get really angry
But
at her for doing that.
the reason that the PTSD argument really pisses me off is because you can't pick and choose.
No,
If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. So
yeah,
they were saying, oh, my PTSD stems from one being locked up and two, the color red. Okay. So we have that. Tamlin shielded her. She had PTSD. I get it. The wedding, the red flowers. I get it. Okay. But then
yeah,
she gets to the night court.
yeah,
And then within, I think it was like, what, 2 days, she meets Cassian and Azriel. And the first thing, one of the first things she notes about Cassian is his blood red siphons.
yeah.
And she goes, oh, like how beautiful they are, whatever. I'm like, bitch, are you afraid of the color red or are you not?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
just
yeah,
moving to the night court isn't gonna heal you. Like, it's not, what the fuck?
that's what I don't like that. And then it was like,
It's the fact that Reese had taken her from the wedding and then trapped her in Moonstone Palace. The same exact shield that Tamlin used.
yeah,
He had over Valaris too. So he took her to Moonstone Mansion or whatever. She literally couldn't leave there without someone going with her, an escort, the same as Tamlin.
yeah.
But she wasn't freaked out about it that time, was she? Or the
No,
second time. But like I said, like Cassian siphons, and then you have um Reese putting the body shield on her during the pregnancy. You have her letting Reese lock up Nesta, lock up Elaine,
yeah,
lock up
yeah,
Lucian, all in the House of Wind.
yes. Don't and don't forget the red lingerie that
The
Reese
red
bought for her.
lingerie. Red.
Do you
It
remember
had to
that?
be red.
It had to be red, and I think if I remember this correctly, that the whole point was to show that Feyre had healed from the whole like red thing. Is that correct? Is that what that whole scene was
Probably.
supposed to be
But
about? Yeah.
but the Cassian thing, that was like immediate. And his siphons
See,
are blood red.
and that's my thing, and I tell this to everybody. Like I literally tell like
It's pick and choose.
yes, I loved
Spring
Feyre.
bad, night good.
Yeah, yeah. I I fucking loved her. And like that's why I'm so angry. Everyone's like, you're awful. How could you love
I know.
Feyre? She's our high
Right
lady.
there. Ugh,
And I'm like, you don't understand. I fucking rooted for Feyre.
I
I
know.
rooted for her so hardcore for the first like 1.5 books. And then she
Oh, I
slowly
was done with her in Akamath. I was done.
yeah,
The minute she
yeah.
turned Fae, she was such a bitch.
She was awful to
You know,
people.
you
Like,
want to know the exact reason where I turned from rooting for her to not liking her? It was
tell me.
during their engagement party when she obviously she's not feeling that good, and as an introvert, I get it. I don't really like parties either.
Right.
And she's like
Same.
telling Ianthe, like, can you get me out of here or whatever? But there in that specific scene, a couple of Tamlin's friends show up and they're talking around the table. And she doesn't say goodbye to him. Like she doesn't say she's leaving the party. He brought them here there basically to meet her because obviously they were going to get married, right? Like they're his friends, people he knows from the court. And she's going up the banister and she looks back at them and he's like talking and laughing with them or whatever. And she's like, "Oh, Tamlin's friends, like I don't even care about meeting them. Like I want
Yes.
nothing to do with them."
Yes.
And then she just continues on upstairs, like she sneaks out of her own engagement party. And I'm like, you don't want to know your future husband's friends when he specifically made this party for you, like to celebrate you and to show you
Yes.
off.
I I am so glad that
It,
you bring up that scene
that
because
that is the scene where I started
yes,
hating her. The one
yes,
fucking scene, and it pissed me off so bad. I was like, this is the scene where I hate her now. There's
I
no redeeming
literally
you. There's no
no.
redeeming you. You
And the thing that drives me crazy, okay, there were two things. Is so Tamlin has not even a great inner circle, but this is Tamlin's version of his inner
Yeah.
circle. And like
Not
she
that we
kind of
don't even know their names or anything, but
yeah, we don't even know their names, but like she
anyway.
kind of acts like they're such a new like you said, they're a nuisance and she doesn't want to get
They're
to
an
know them and they're
annoyance.
awful.
Yeah.
But then she goes to the night court inner circle and she's like, I'm willing to meet all of you, like after like
Shit.
a month
Yeah.
or two. It was like, and then like Braun and Hart were Tamlin's friends, and like she like
Yeah.
disregarded them. And she was like talking really badly about all the Spring Court people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they just like gawk at me and like praise me and blah blah. And I get she has PTSD.
Like you saved them. Like they're grateful. What do you want them to do?
They were eating each other under the mountain, like
Yeah.
literally eating each other.
Yeah.
And nobody,
Traumatized.
yeah, and like nobody wants you to lift a finger because you paid with your life and they
Yeah.
feel bad about that
Yeah.
and you hate them
And
for
he's
it.
like, "Oh, like," and the thing is, Tamlin wasn't even doing it just to be like, "Look at your savior," blah 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 blah. He literally was just like, "Let's have an engagement party. Like, we're gonna be married." Like he was all excited. Like he had
Awful.
Ianthe do it. Like he didn't make her do anything that she didn't want to do. I will say this all the time because everyone's like, he made her wear dresses and he made her blah 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 blah. And no,
Yes.
he didn't. It was
Oh, and
always
like
Ianthe. Always Ianthe. It just oh my god, it just pisses me off so much when people say that. But like the fact that
okay,
she's smiling and
no,
stuff,
go on. Oh, I know. No, keep going. I want to hear it.
just that scene. Just that scene is what turned me from her completely. Because it's like
Yeah.
you're not even gonna be like, hey, like I'm a little overwhelmed and I'm gonna go upstairs and lie
Yes.
down. You know, thanks for like the party or whatever. I love you. Hi, I'm Farah. I can't really do this right now. You know, I'm kind of overwhelmed after everything that's happened. I'm sure they would have understood.
Yes. Like Tamlin would have even understood and
And then
like
you have fucking Ianthe just there.
you know, and you want to know what? You know she was whispering shit to both of them. You know she was turning them. I mean, she's Rhysand's mate. I understand that. But like everyone downplays the the Ianthe factor. Everybody.
See, I never understood that. What was Ianthe's end goal?
She wanted to turn Feyre and Tamlin against each other,
Yeah, but
break them
why?
apart. She wanted to be the High Lord. She wanted to be the High Lord of Spring. She wanted to rule. That was her goal.
Well, yeah, she wanted to rule, but that was like after, like she went to Hybern after the fact. But why was she driving a wedge between them in Akamath? Is what is this before the this is a lot before the Hybern scene. Because even if they were together, Hybern could have destroyed both of them,
Yeah,
right? Like it had nothing to do with whether they were a couple or not. She wanted to get rid of all the High Lords. So
that is
I
true.
so
Unless you're
I don't see how them being together or not being together would really, you know, go with her plan. Like,
make a difference. Are you saying that you think that that's the part where Reese kind of was like, "Hey, Anthony, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. You get my mate, and I'll give you the fucking court." I mean, I could see it.
like I don't know. It's just her she was killed and we never got a follow through as to like her reasoning. And maybe it was just to show that like, oh, she was crazy, but that kind of cheapens everything.
It totally cheapens. There you go, talking about cheapening stuff that totally cheapens everything. And like,
There has to be a reason for everything in my mind. When there is no reason, it pisses me off. Like it just bothers me. I'm like,
yeah,
why? There's no reason. What's
I know.
the reason?
I think about it all the time. Like, I think about that stuff too. And like,
Like the
I
red at
haven't.
the fucking wedding. She asked you for one thing. No red roses. Why the fuck are you sprinkling red like was it Reese?
That's what.
Why?
Who would do that? Like,
Why?
unless she's just like a petty bitch, like a women versus women. Maybe that's what SJM was looking at. Like that women are awful to
But
each other. I don't know.
she didn't even want Tamlin that way. Like she wasn't an Amarantha to Tamlin. She wanted Lucian.
I know she did. Which
She was Tamlin's friend. Her end goal was to get Lucian. But like in the middle of that, she's just like, fuck you, friend. I'm gonna just destroy your relationship. Like it makes no sense.
it's weird. It's really weird that she
Hmm.
turned on Tamlin so quickly. It was bizarre to me. But I don't know. I could see it. I could go either way. Like, but it's the red. It was like such a mind fuck. And like the fact that she like
I'm like,
snuck
what is the
away.
point?
Yeah.
What? Like, what is her reason? But again, it could have been explained in later books had she not have died. I think it would have been more interesting if Tamlin was like, get the fuck out of my court. Like, it would have been so much better for her to just be like a lingering threat.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if
Oh yeah.
Hybern died, like,
Build that up. Build
because,
it up.
well, because her father and her sisters are still out there
Oh
on the
yeah.
continent somewhere.
Who could
Um,
they be?
hmm. But I do kind of get the link to Hybern because if she's from the continent, that means that she's probably from somewhere that supported the loyalists.
Yeah.
But then, like, how was she and Tamlin like childhood friends? Like, SJM,
I
keep
know.
your lore straight. Where does she live? Like, where is she from? Why, when did they meet? Like, why did they meet as kids? Did they meet at Hybern's palace as children?
Interesting. I don't know why I always thought she was from the Spring Court and then went to Hybern.
Well,
Am I crazy?
so she might have. Well, it says that she was in the Spring Court, and then Amarantha's curse happened, and then
Yeah.
her and the
Yeah.
family fled to the continent.
Yeah.
Fucking cowards. But anyways,
Total cowards.
but like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Her
And then
father was supposed to be bad too, another bad dad.
that they're all bad. All of the dads are bad. I've chalked it up. There's not one good dad. Sure.
Uh, you don't
Not
like
one.
Helion, but Helion would have been a good dad.
I don't like
Would-
Helion. I think he's a terrible father. He's
Doesn't
awful.
know he's a father.
Like, how do you not know?
No, because she birthed him in a different court and said he was her husband.
But like, can't you look at someone and be like, holy shit, I see my facial features in this tiny version. I mean, my God, like Lucian.
When
If
did he
Feyre
see
can see it,
Lucian? I'm pretty sure the first time he laid eyes on Lucian was under the mountain. Unless
But that's what I'm
Spring
saying.
and
Like, how do
Day
you
would
lay?
it, but like he had no
Like,
ties
okay,
today.
so like here's what I'm thinking, right? Just I'm putting myself in Helian's shoes, and I'm like checking out my lover, Lady Autumn, like underneath the mountain. You can't tell me that that man hasn't stared at every single kid that woman gave birth to. You can't fucking tell me that. He fucking knows. And then he like, do you don't think he like looks at that last one and is like, he kind of looks like me. You
Well,
don't fucking
again,
know.
he could know, but he can't say shit because Baron will just fucking offer.
True.
So they really, everyone has their tongue tied until Baron dies. But
I think that you're right.
I actually saw a theory that Eris was Helian's too. And that's why when Eris is talking to Rhys and Feyre under the mountain about the thing on the ice when he was like dragging her or whatever, and he said like, and it was in front of my, and he like hitches and he's like, brothers.
What was he gonna say there?
Half brothers?
And it,
I
and it was
don't
in
know.
front of my
In front of
what would
my
he
like
s-
he like hiccups. Like not hiccups, but he like
yeah.
stumbles over his words and he's like my brothers. In the graphic audio, it's like so perfect. And I'm like, I never understood like why he hesitated before calling them brothers. Like I know that they're not like brothers, like they don't love each other or anything because they're awful, but they're still your brothers.
Holy shit. I want you to know that that just made my fucking night. And I'm just so
Because that
excited
means
right now.
that Eris and Lucian are the real brothers.
Oh my god, it just makes so much sense as to like why he wants to get close to Lucian too. Like why he saved him in that relationship, why he's at the house at the Band of Exiles. I
And
love
can I
this
bring
theory.
something up
Yes.
which will make you even more excited about that
Stop
little
it.
theory that I saw floating around? So Eris knows that Lucian is powerful, right? And
Okay.
everyone's like, oh, you know, well, Eris isn't threatened by Lucian because he knows Lucian can't have the Autumn Court throne, right? But Eris asked for their bids for the Autumn Court throne. So what if he knows that he's not actually Baron's either? He would need the bid to become the Autumn Court High Lord because
I'm
nobody
so excited.
knows he's not Baron's. And Lucian is the most powerful, but he knows that Lucian is also Helion, so that Lucian, being more powerful than him, would get the Day Court throne.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. And I was like,
Oh my god.
that's why he wants the bid.
That would make so much sense.
And Eris was only born 20 years after Lady Autumn and Baron got married. And we know that she was thinking of like rejecting Baron because they were still in love and they were still having their thing or whatever. And then Helion's like, oh yeah, on and off for centuries or whatever, decades or whatever. But I also find it funny that Feyre directly directly compares Lucian's skin color to Eris's skin color.
She did directly do that.
She's like the skin that was much like golden brown compared to Eris's pale coloring.
Oh,
Whatever.
that negates that theory.
But
Because Eris is...
no. Because Lady Autumn is super fucking pale. So Eris could have just taken after her.
Do you think so though?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I shit you not, like I've seen mixed race couples where like either the father or mother is really dark and then the other parent is really pale. And I shit you not, they have kids. Like there's always this one kid that's super pale, like the one parent, and it's just weird. And everyone's like, "Are you sure that's your kid? Are you sure that's your kid?" And everyone's like, "We always get the 'Are you sure that's your kid?' question," you know?
I will so like that's actually a very valid point. Like for example, like I'm very dark, right? Like my hair and stuff. My husband's also very dark. And my son in particular, like my daughter's a little darker. He's like a towhead. He's like a strawberry blonde. And we look at each other, we're like, where does this
Is that
come
my
from?
child?
Yes. And he's got these like beautiful blue eyes. And I'm like, who is
Yeah.
so you know what? It could be a possibility.
The fact that it's only Eris that she directly compares him to all the time.
But and also, why are none of the other brothers named? I
I
just
know.
want like why? You know what? It's gonna be nothing. I have a feeling she's just like, I don't give a fuck about them. I'm not gonna name them. But why are they not named? It really, really bothers me. Don't they have names?
I know.
Why don't we talk about them?
I named them because it pissed me off. It bothered me, but
Yes.
but yeah, what do you he was like, my brothers were there.
Is that how they said it in the graphic audio too?
I put it as a reel on my Instagram. I'm gonna play it because
Play it.
because it was weird, man. It was weird. I have to find
I'm just trying to figure out like what else he could possibly
mean.
have said. Yeah.
Yeah. It was odd. So first of all, more.
Bride for you to torture? Something flickered in Eris's eyes. I don't know if you thought you were supposed to be. A sneer at Azrael. More snarled, rattling the glasses. You never gave any evidence to the contrary. Certainly not when you left me in those woods.
There were forces at work that you have never considered, and I'm not going to waste my breath explaining them to you. Believe what you want about me.
You hunted me down like an animal. I think we'll choose to believe the worst. Eris's pale face flushed.
I was given an order and sent to do it with two of my brothers.
And what of the brother you hunted down alongside me? The one his lover you helped to execute before his eyes? Eris laid a hand flat on the table.
You know nothing about what happened that day. Nothing.
Indulge me.
With my
I don't know. It's
brothers. Also, her like saying he's pale, he's pale, he's pale, he's pale, he's pale. And then Lucian's golden brown skin, golden, golden, gold. I'm like, why? Why only them?
yes.
Why only them?
I feel like I personally I love that theory. I love that theory so freaking much. I'm concerned because their skin's so different, but I love it. That's like one of my favorite.
But again,
recent
Under the
ones.
Mountain, I'm pretty sure she described like how super pale Lady Autumn was too, and like she smelled like apples and all this, and just I don't know. There were forces at work that you have never considered. And then the
like,
next
what
one is
forces?
like, and then the next one is, we are to support Eris's bid when it's time for him to take the throne. Like, everyone like
That's what I'm
knows he's the heir, right? It didn't choose him at birth.
It's weird. It's really weird. There's something like super sketchy and like
Also,
I find. Go ahead.
can I point something out, which is kind of going in another direction, but can I point it out real quick?
Of course, because I have something else I want to point out that goes in a completely different direction.
So, there are forces at work that you have never considered, and I am not going to waste my breath explaining them to you. Believe what you want about me. So fast forward to Akasif when he's talking
like
to
this.
Cassian.
Yep.
You are not the person I want to explain myself to. But then Cassian wasn't at this meeting, and he assumes that he's talking about more. When Eris already said, like, I don't care what you think about me more. So who does he want to explain himself to?
I love that, and I'm so glad you brought that up because I forgot that he told her, "I don't want to waste my breath talking about it to you." So it's not more. So it's either Eric or it's either Lucian, right? Or
Oh,
Gwen. I know you're his daughter, Gwen.
his daughter, Gwen. I need it. I need it so badly. So I actually posted that as I post a lot of this shit on my page, but I posted it
It's
as
good.
a thing on my page. I put very sus glare, Eris. And it says, Reese says, anything I want, whether it be armies from the Autumn Court or your firstborn, you would grant me in exchange for Nesta Archeron as your wife. Eris glared, not as far as the firstborn, but yes, you want armies against Breelin and my father, you will have them. Not as far as the firstborn. And then, which I want to know who was born first, Katrin or Gwen. Did Gwen say it was Katrin? I don't remember. Katrin was
I don't
older, maybe?
remember. I don't
I don't
remember. I don't
Um,
remember.
And then, yeah, I said Cassian assumed that it was more that Eris wanted to explain himself to, but Eris didn't say it wasn't, but in the Hewn City scene, he says to Moore that he doesn't want to explain himself to her. And then, um, again, he says, I'm not going to waste my breath, blah, 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 blah. So I said, who does he want to explain himself to? How about a daughter he cannot claim because he knows she is part nymph and Baron would kill her like he killed Jasminda for being part lesser and tainting their bloodline? I also said, this may be why he wanted to form some sort of relationship with Nesta. Because he could speak to Nesta alone.
I kind of like that.
And because Nesta's directly best friends with Gwen. Right.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And didn't you say that for Eris Week, the voice actor was like, you guys are just scratching the surface of my character? Isn't that something that he said? Like, there's a lot more to
Leave a
reveal.
message. Maybe one day you'll actually understand the depths of my character.
I love
him.
these graphic audios.
He's literally the best. Like, I love his voice for Eris, but yeah, I just wanted to
He's
point
so
out
good.
that little my brothers. I was like,
So let me ask you this. Do you think SJM tells the voice actors, like gives them spoilers, like tells them what's gonna happen in the future? Like in the future, Eris, you are this, like, does he know?
probably.
I've always
Maybe.
wondered that. I think about that all the time.
There's
Like,
they did a whole interview. They did a whole interview for Eris Week. I'll see if I can pull it up real quick.
with him?
Yeah.
Will you send it to me?
I will. They're talking about like the voice acting and like stuff that he did and or does and doesn't do, and there's been a ton of stuff that's been reblogged, I think, but
Is it all on Tumblr?
it is.
Okay.
You need to get a freaking Tumblr.
I do. I just started it, so I gotta find you on it.
Here it is. So excited to have chatted with Matthew Bassett, the voice actor for Eris Fensera. They asked like, how long have you been voice acting? How'd you get into it? Can you describe the process? Were there callbacks? And yes, so the director of the ACOTAR adaptations, including several longer character arcs and multiple series, thought that I would be a good fit for Eris based on similar characters, roguish with hidden depth that explored over time. He's like, Eris has been really fun. And then they're just like, how did you prepare? How do you understand his backstory and motivations? And he says the graphic audio does
backstory and motivation.
I know. The director sent each actor a brief but rich character description, often quoting directly from the novels, as well as providing a plot description for each specific novel. During our sessions, she tells me everything I need to know about where Eris has been since the last scene in book and how his relationships have evolved. There's also directors that read in as scene partners. And then they say, like, Eris is very morally ambiguous. And he
But
said
he's really not.
his vulnerability is very challenging. Eris has had a hard life despite growing up with every privilege, which is difficult to convey. He hates everyone to some extent, but it all comes from how much he hates his family and himself. The scenes with Morrigan in particular take a while to record because he has all the feelings when talking to her, but can't show any of them.
We
I told you they were mates. I told you.
I am shocked he said that. Because
He didn't say they were mates. He just said he has all the feelings.
why else would he have all the feelings if they weren't mates? They're totally mates.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so like
He said, for Eris, I took a lot of inspiration from Tom Hiddleston's Loki, Tom Cruise's Lestat, and anything Jeremy Irons has ever done. Characters that you can't take your eyes off of, even if you want to beat the crap out of them. But yeah, and then he said, they said, were there any specific challenges to voicing Eris compared to other characters, and how did you adapt? He said, for all the dirtbags, murderers, and literal monsters, aliens, and villains I've voiced, Eris is the one with the biggest heart. The biggest challenge is allowing him to have a deep want hidden from even himself for some tenderness, the one thing he has been denied his entire life. A character like Eris is easy to just have fun with and play as a smug prick, but he has moments of aching loneliness that make him much richer. One of my favorite moments was playing Eris's surprise and gratitude when receiving the maid dagger for safekeeping. He can't fathom trusting anyone else with something so powerful and important because he simply wasn't shown that level of trust or respect from anyone. That moment took him by such surprise, so it was great to let myself feel that in the playing.
I literally love this interview so much.
I'm only on Akawar. I can't wait for the Akasif. I might skip Akafas. I honestly don't.
It's totally cool. I have to listen to these.
I have
like,
to listen to the Akasif one.
Yeah.
And then just, voice actors and all that stuff. But all the feelings with Moore, and he has the biggest heart.
So, like, he truly loves more then, right? Is that kind of what's going on? Is that what we're supposed
I don't
to
know
like
if it's
gather from
love,
that?
but he definitely has like a deep protection for his mate. Like we saw that with like Valaris and everything, Ugh, my baby.
That makes me really sad that like Eris, it's the same though. It's the same as like Lucian, it's the same as Tamlin. Like Eris has almost nothing good except he has his mother alive. And he loves her. You know what I mean? She loves him.
And they can't even just like live.
Yeah.
So I
Like
actually
Eris at least has that.
I wouldn't be mad if he was Helions, actually. I used to think like, oh, that's a weird theory. I don't really know if I would like that because his whole thing was like having a part of Baron in him or whatever, but I don't know. If he's keeping the secret from Lucian, like if Lucian actually doesn't know, which I think he probably does, but if Eris thinks that Lucian doesn't know and he's keeping these secrets from Lucian and then just to find out that like his mom was keeping it from him too.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't like that at all.
Like, I mean,
I'm kind of on the same boat as you. Like, I really like that theory, and I think it would make things like really, really sweet. But yeah, I don't know, because I like the point that you just made. Is he has Baron in him? That was a very good point.
like he says it.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, yeah.
I don't know. And you know what I want to know so badly is I don't think we're ever given a reason, like, why is he at the house of the Band of Exiles? And were we given a reason?
No, but see, we're never given the Lucian and Eris scenes either. Like, what the
We
fuck do they
aren't.
talk about?
But it's weird because in literally Act of War, Lucian's like Eris is a snake. Unless everything is just an act.
They are
Is Lucian
foxes.
They are. Two-faced. They're very two-faced, apparently. Like, is Lucian just acting like he hates Eris? I don't know.
I read over that cave scene again, and was it Feyre? I forget, but I think Feyre calls Eris a snake in that scene. And
Mhm.
then when she has like the shield of fire up or whatever, she's like, oh, like the flames are shooting through the cracks like serpents with many tongues or something. And I was
Interesting.
like, what the like what is the does the Autumn Court have dragons? Like, is
I've
Ariadne from the
literally,
fucking Autumn Court? Like, is Ariadne the lost Autumn Court daughter?
I would lose my shit. I'd
I would
fucking
lose.
lose my shit. But she has like black hair, doesn't she?
She does, but she could have dyed it. I don't know. She
I don't
does have
know.
black hair. Well, Baron has
Um,
brown hair. I don't know.
how cool would it be if we got like a dragon riders in Akatar? I would be like, holy shit, it's Fourth Wing and like
But I was
every
like,
aspect of Fourth Wing I love.
it's just weird because the way that Eris's flames are described in his eyes, like when he's using his powers, are almost the same as Ariadne's.
Are they really?
Yeah. It's weird.
Or like, I don't know.
It's weird. Because like her eyes go like red and flamey, and then his go like orange and flamey. I don't know. Like, and then like the fact that he has more in common with his smoke hounds, bloodhounds, whatever they're called, smoke hounds.
Interesting.
He sniffs the wind and can scent people. Like,
Is he a
like
bloodhound?
not meeting more in Valahan. Like, just,
I love that Valahan theory, by the way.
I
They
just,
totally have to be meeting.
I'm obsessed with it. But anyways, we got off topic from our notes again.
We did. Oh, wait, can I make one more off
Yes, yes,
topic point?
yes.
And then I promise. Okay.
Yes.
I just want to also read to you a point when I started to dislike Feyre.
Do it.
Okay. So this is when, and everyone's like, Tamlin was so horrible to her, right? Like, not letting her do anything. Please, this is Tamlin talking. Please, please just do this for me, Tamlin said, stroking his stallion's thick neck as the beast nickered with impatience. The others had already moved their horses into easy canters, the first of them nearly within the shade of the woods. Tamlin jerked his chin towards the alabaster estate looming behind me. I'm sure there are things to help with around the house, or you could paint. Try out that new set I gave you for winter solstice. Like, that was not rude of him to say at all. There was nothing but wedding planning waiting for me in the house, since Alice refused to let me lift a finger to do anything, not because of who I was to Tamlin, what I was about to become to Tamlin, but because of what I had done for her boys, and for Prithian. All the servants were the same. Some still cried with gratitude when they passed me in the halls. And as for painting, fine, I breathed. I made myself look him in the eye, made myself smile. Be careful, I said, and I meant it. The thought of him going out there hunting the monsters that once served Amarantha. I love you, Tamlin said quietly. I nodded. I nodded,
That bitch.
murmuring. Yeah, I know.
I know.
Murmuring it back as he trotted to where Lucian still waited, the emissary now frowning slightly. I didn't watch them go.
Yeah, she's
So that's
awful.
just
Like, if you don't want to get married, just fucking tell him you don't want to get married. Why are you going to humiliate him?
I know, and like he wasn't. And he even said, "He's like, I love you." Like Tamlin
Yeah.
says quietly, "I love you." Why don't you try out those new paints I bought you for
He wasn't
winter
like,
solstice?
oh, go work in the house like a woman. Like, that's not it.
No, he was like so sweet and so kind to her. And then down here, even, and I want this to be noted because everyone's like, he bought her the dresses and made her wear it. You know,
He
I
did
blows my
not.
fucking mind. Feyre's like, I hated the bright dresses that had become my daily uniform, but didn't have the heart to tell
Yeah.
Tamlin
Yeah.
Not when he bought so many, not when he looked so happy to see me wear them, not when his words weren't far from the truth. The day I put on my pants and tunics, the day I strap weapons to myself like fine jewelry, it would send a message far and clear across the land. So I wore the gowns and let Alice arrange my hair, if only so it would buy these people a measure of peace and comfort. Like, I don't see.
She lets him think that she likes it.
I know, like, I don't see him sitting there forcing her to wear dress. It just says that he was like happy to see her wearing those bright colored dresses. Like, I
Like
don't
not
know.
having to like go out and fight for her life. Like,
Yeah, like I think that you're right. Like he was just like
he
grateful she was
literally
alive.
equates like her pants and tunic and shit to like fighting, which if we go back to the original tunics being Lauren's, PTSD.
Yes.
Ding ding ding.
Yes. It's full circle. It's full circle. Like I truly honestly believe that, like, and I love that you pointed out that that tunic was a night court tunic. I am forever
Both of
amazed.
them.
Yeah.
And he was
But
like,
also,
no.
I know, but it's kind of weird that like they gave Feyre a night court thing. You think they'd want to do like a spring court tunic for her, but they, you know what I mean? That was
Well, she was a stranger. I see. We don't know how long. Well, Alice had been working there. What she said, a few years, right?
yeah.
So she probably just didn't know the history.
No.
She was just like, "Oh, this is like an extra thing that's been hanging here forever. Throw this on." Like,
Yeah, like no one wears this. Here's a tunic. Like not a big deal.
yeah. And because wasn't that right before the scene where he's like, "Your hair is clean." Maybe it just like jostled him. I don't know.
I know, and everyone gives some shit about like about that, but I think there, like you said, there's more to it. Like Tamlin is a handsome man.
Yeah.
He's very intro, and this is also what I hate is that like everyone hates him because he's like introverted and it's hard for him to like find the right things to say.
That's
And
why he hired Lucian.
I know,
Lucian
I know,
knows
'cause
how to talk to people.
yes, he even says that. Like,
Yeah.
and like people are so hard on him.
I know. Like,
Like,
not everyone is good at speaking. I trip over my words 5 million times on this podcast. I lose my train of thought. My mind goes
oh,
faster than my mouth. Like, I gotta slow down a little.
totally. Half the
But
time I'm like struggling with like sleep deprivation and you know what I mean? Like it's just, it blows my
we're
mind
okay.
that
We're
people
plugging along. But I wanna point out the dress thing real quick and the whole that's why Elaine is perfect for Tamlin. No.
Really? I kind of like I would be happy with either one because Elaine is to me what Tamlin needed, not Feyre. But
But no.
really?
Yeah, because like I know how everyone's like, "Oh, Tamlin doesn't like to be defied and he wants a nice subservient girl or whatever." But like I honestly think he needs someone that will challenge him. Kind of like someone kind of like Lucian, but obviously a female. Like,
Yes, yes. Like a
you know,
spunky
that will be
kind of
like,
like
"Look, you're off kilter here. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm not doing this shit. Calm the fuck down. Put the fucking claws away, bro."
I kind of like that. I mean,
Like
you would
Elaine
think
would just
that
be like,
that would have been
"Okay,"
Feyre though.
sipping her tea. "Okay." Like he would get bored of that. He would get so bored of that.
But then people would say, well, that but Feyre was like that, and Feyre and him were like oil and vinegar at the end.
Yeah, but Feyre wasn't like I don't know. It's different because
Yeah.
Feyre like
Feyre wasn't.
she wasn't like
like
encouragingly bantery.
Yes.
If that
Yes.
makes sense.
Yes.
She was more gritty.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. Like, I don't even know who would be a good female for him.
Like she
I
didn't
don't think.
say stuff with love and care. She said
No.
stuff with like, I don't like this and this is annoying and da 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 da, you know.
She very much had like a lot of attitude, in my opinion. Like honestly, there's not in the second book, like she just never looks upon him as even. I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I know people are gonna come after me with their pitchforks, so I'm just gonna stop it right there.
Okay, hello again.
Hello.
Hello. Our the one that I edited for Sunday literally just ended with us like bye. Just, like, cut off. We have the worst endings because we never know how to end it, but it's fine.
Well, it's also because like we could talk forever and ever and ever, and so we never stop.
We never stop, and then until we like the last second when we have to go, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
It's okay.
So let's start with the little numbers thing that I did. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I don't
No,
know.
no, this is a really good one because I think about the numbers a lot, actually.
So it's 3, 6, 7, and 8, basically, right? So 3, we
Okay.
have the 3 Archeron sisters, the 3 Bat Boys, the 3 Valkyries. We had there's another I think the Valkyries all came in units of 3, right? When they trained.
I think so, if I remember correctly. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
And then there's like Clotho, Meryl, and Gwen, which are 3 researchers or whatever. And then there was like Papa Archeron's 3 ships for the 3 daughters, and like there's just a lot of 3 going on.
But also the Artesian amulet that
The 3
Bryce has,
circles,
the
the
3
3 main
circles.
worlds. Yes, that too. So I looked up the significance of 3, and it says the number 3 is considered as the perfect number, the number of harmony, wisdom, and understanding. It's also a number of time, past, present, and future, birth, life, and death, beginning, middle, and end. Also the number of the divine.
A little concerned about the past, present, future aspect of it.
I told you. Tog is the past, Caribbean is the present, Crescent City is the future. The way that Bryce said time slowed to a glacial drip and then she was yanked sideways.
But to me, that doesn't mean that. It was like in the past. So you're saying like she like went to the past?
Well, not necessarily like her past. Like it could all be going on at the same time, but like set in different time, like if that makes sense, like set in different time zones, but all kind of happening on their own timeline.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know why. I just thought that it was all present, parallel, present day.
That's how Regelis says, like how he's like, oh, we got rid of that world and we brought them over to here or whatever. But then like Prithian doesn't have technology. The Tog world
It's
didn't
really
have technology.
true.
Like the Asteri Palace didn't have technology. So what's going on with Crescent City? Why do they have all this shit?
Unless like the Dust Court was like super advanced, you know what I
Dusk
mean?
and Dawn.
Dawn with
Dawn?
the technology and magic being
Yeah.
the same thing.
New
That's actually
girl.
yes. No, that's actually a
Girly.
really good idea. Like I could see it.
I want to see her in Crescent City too. Like I was disappointed that we never saw Nuon again because I loved her so much at that meeting.
But tell me what you love about Nuon so much.
I just loved that she handed Baron's ass to him and she just did not care.
Didn't give a shit.
She's like, I don't give a shit if you're a High Lord. You're an asshole. Like,
Yeah. Yes.
Like she wasn't scared of him at all.
She's fearless. She's
really fearless. And he's
so
so used to like subservient people. Like during the Hewn City meeting, like Moore's mom had her head down and all that stuff. And he was like, well, where are you from? And she's like, I was born on these lands like your sons. Like, I just fucking loved her.
she's pretty kick-ass, and like the fact that she makes all of that stuff and is like, a master alchemist and tinkerer or whatever.
I love it. I love it.
I do
I don't
too.
know. And I could go on and on and on about how she's perfect for Eris, but I won't do that right now because I'm just
She is perfect for Eris.
she's so perfect for Eris. Like, she would fucking keep him in line.
Yeah, she would.
It would be amazing.
They would
Anyway.
be a really great power couple. Like,
They
they
would-
would get shit done.
They
Yeah.
would be an amazing power couple.
Yeah, they would.
Sarah J.
Yeah.
Maas, listen to me.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Again, I will say over and over, I cannot honestly fucking believe that I'm the only person who has thought of them as a couple.
It's weird. I mean, I've
weird.
never seen anyone else mention it. No,
I'm
nobody.
the only one with fanfics of them on Archive of Our Own.
Yes.
The only one. I was shocked.
I'm kind
Shocked.
of shocked. I'm kind of shocked by it too, to be honest with you. Like, no one else has picked up on it.
Not at all. It's
Super weird.
yeah. And just the whole, like, it was the most decent he ever sounded. I was like, baby.
The fact that she wrote that is pretty telling.
Oh, like, I know it's one little line, but the way, like, Eris is like, I'll take it. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I just, like, imagine him, like, looking her in the eyes, like, just, like, so sincerely. Like, oh, Eris.
my heart. I'm so glad I
know.
brought you onto my ship.
Oh, I could support that ship 100%. Like, 100%. That's a good
Wait.
ship because they're a good couple.
Me and Steph for the for the RP that we're doing.
Yeah.
We got to the point where they're engaged and they're having some really they're having some sexy times right now. Let's just say.
Oh my god.
Eris is getting his dues. And so is Nunu. So
Well, good for them. It's about damn time.
good for
Let's just
them.
put it that way.
About
It's about damn time after Moore screwed him over.
fucking asshole. Anyway.
I know.
Anyway.
We always do that.
6 for the 6-pointed star of the necromancers. Like we said,
Okay.
Reese's mom's ring and the star that Hypaxia draws to hopefully talk to Connor ended up talking to the Underking.
Oh.
The number 6 is the symbol of luck and the highest number on the dice. The number 6 is also the symbol of Venus, the goddess of love. And the sixth sense refers to extrasensory perception, which obviously necromancy is kind of like a sixth sense, or like a plane of existence, I guess you can say. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But the 6 is the number of love.
6 is the number of love, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Symbol of Venus, the goddess of love. I mean, Reese and his mom,
Love
Paxi
there.
and her mom,
Yeah.
Ethan and Connor.
Meh.
7. 7. That unholy number. Technically, it's actually a very holy number.
That's what I was gonna say.
Rune,
I was like,
you got it mixed up. Yes, so the number 7 is intimately connected to the Bible. The number 7 has 2 key symbolic meanings. It represents a full and complete world
okay.
and a linear journey. It is also like the way that humans can imitate God. People rest on the 7th day, creation and stuff like that.
I actually love that because that makes complete sense to me. Like that she would use the number 7.
But this is the interesting part to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, ooh. In the New Testament, the number 7 symbolizes the unity of the 4 corners of the earth with the Holy Trinity. So it's a square with a triangle.
So it's the star. I don't know.
Huh. Earth,
It's just
air, fire, water.
Yeah.
And then whichever 3 pair you want to choose.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. So that was that was 7. And then
Okay.
8, which we know like the 8-pointed star, the 8 quartz, original 8 quartz.
Mhm.
The number 8 represents victory, prosperity, and overcoming. It is also a symbol for personal power, hidden power, shared resources, determination, authority, self-confidence, inner strength, inner wisdom, social status, ego, and at the same time, love for humanity and a desire for peace.
I find that very interesting because
It's
overcome. I don't know why, but the overcoming thing kind of stuck out to me. Did it stick it with you? Because Nesta and Bryce have the star
and Cassian.
and
It
Cassian,
too.
but why? I'm like, why does Cassian?
Well, Cassian only had it because Nesta had it because it was her bargain. It was the bargain
Read again.
tattoo.
It means overcoming.
Victory.
Okay, victory.
Duh.
Victory. Hello.
I know. Personal power or hidden power.
That's 2.
Shared resources, determination, authority, self-confidence, inner strength, inner wisdom, social status, and ego. And then a love for humanity and a desire for peace.
Okay, so I think this is a very good sign for my Cassian theory that that he's gonna be alive because
Okay,
because
but
he
the
has
3 one doesn't. The 3 bat boys.
the 8-pointed
Birth, life,
star
and
means
death.
victory and overcoming shit. So
We
he's
already
gonna
said the
overcome
Ians
death.
are gonna die, okay?
Not the Ians, they're my favorite.
Baxian, Cassian, Jurian. I don't think there's any other Ians, right?
I don't think there's any other ones either.
But yeah, that was just a little number thing. I thought that was interesting.
No, I think I like the number thing because I definitely think that there's meaning to it. I just like I'm fascinated by all the detail that she puts in her books. Like, does she sit and just like Google it? Like, what do each of the numbers, you know what I mean? Like, what do each of the numbers represent? Well, number 7 is the holy number, and I'm gonna make it, it's
I
just
know.
blows my mind.
I know. Someone commented, this doesn't really go with the number thing, but really quick. I was on the Aleutian and Gwynreal page or whatever the other day, and I screenshotted this comment from someone because I thought it was very interesting. It was something I didn't know about the Koshi lore. Koshi, but I'm just gonna say Koshi. And so she wrote, I've done a lot of research into the story of Koshi, and what I found is that the 3 sisters marry the 3 kings who represent night, day, and wind.
Wait. Hold up.
Night, day, and wind. Reese, Lucian, and Cassian.
And Cassian?
Well, Cassian, he flies. He's like wind, like aerial legion, right?
See, I was thinking.
Marries. That doesn't mean he's not gonna die.
Wait a
But-
second, but also Tamlin has wind, right?
Oh, so does
But-
Helion.
So does Helion.
A lot of them have
Okay.
wind, actually.
So maybe they do have wind.
I was
Maybe
just
they all have
thinking,
wind.
like,
I thought Cassian too. I thought Cassian or Tamlin. That was interesting.
but get this. So each of those 3 kings also have like not beast beast forms, I guess. They can shapeshift into birds. It's a raven, an eagle, and a hawk.
What? Okay, wait a second.
Raven, we know is Reese
It's Reese.
from Akamath. eagle, which is how Helian's beast form is described. So if Lucian was the next High Lord of Day, he would have that beast form. Eagle. And hawk. Hawk? Who's the fucking hawk?
Well, it's Rowan. That's the problem, though. That's the problem, is it's Rowan.
But like in Akatar, who's the hawk?
Unless it's Cassian, like you're saying.
I don't know. Yeah, so
Okay.
she put funny enough, Reese is the night representation described as a raven, Lucian is the day representation where his beast form would be part eagle like Helian's, and Cassian, who is Illyrian, who has wings for wind. And then she said that Azriel fits the description of Yvonne, so he's gonna, I guess, try to get Elaine back, even though she doesn't end up with him or something. I don't know. And she also says Yvonne was very envious of the sisters finding love, just as Az was in the bonus chapter of his brothers.
Wait a second. So what happens to Yvonne? Wait a fucking second. Wait a second.
Fucking second.
Okay, wait. Also, Azriel tells Elaine, I can't remember when, that their people, the Illyrians, like fly to the Song of Wind or something like that. Remember, and Elaine was like, "Oh, that's so beautiful and
I
poetic,"
guess.
and like Azriel was like
Yeah.
self-conscious. Do you remember that? So Cassian
Kinda.
would be. Yeah, I'll have to find it.
I don't know. I thought that was fun. I was like,
It's
he's
so
Yvonne.
fun.
And especially again with the quote with Koshi. I've been preparing for months for you, and you don't even want to speak to me.
But what happens to Yvonne in that lore? I want to know.
I'm looking
Did
it
she
up right
say?
now.
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna look it up because now I can't stop
I've
thinking
read
about it.
there's like a million different fucking versions.
How do you spell
But
Yvonne? Is it Ivan or Yvonne?
it's
Like,
Yvonne, I think.
how do you spell it?
Ivan. That's how you spell it, but it's Russian, so it's Yvonne in Russia. The sisters marry 3 wizards. He leaves his home in search of the sisters. He meets Maria Morevna, a beautiful warrior princess, and marries her. After a while, she announces she's going to go to war and tells him not to open the door of the dungeon in the castle they live in while she'll be away. Overcome by the desire to know what the dungeon holds, he opens the door soon after her departure and finds Koshi chained and emaciated. He asks Yvonne to bring him some water, and he does so. After he drinks 12 buckets of water, his magic powers return to him, and he breaks his chains and disappears. Oh my god. See, Little Mermaid shit. Koshi's gonna be fucking Ursula. Like I've said! When Yvonne catches up with Koshi, he finds out that Koshi has captured Maria and he pursues him. Koshi tells Yvonne to let him go, but he doesn't give in, and Koshi kills him, puts his remains into a barrel, and throws it into the sea. He is then revived by his sister's 3 husbands, powerful wizards who can transform into birds of prey. They tell him that Koshi has a magic horse, that he should go to Baba Yaga to get one, or he will not be able to defeat him. After Yvonne survives Yaga's tests and gets the horse, he fights with Koshi, kills him, and burns his body. Maria returns to Yvonne, and they celebrate his victory with his sisters and their husbands.
So Azriel's gonna die.
He is not!
He's gonna die, dude. We've been
The
wrong.
High Lords will bring him back.
The entire time we've been wrong.
The High Lords will bring him back!
Oh, Melody.
Stop it! I'm not entertaining that.
You, my dear, are in for a fucking treat.
Hey, he's brought back. So
Is he though?
he is.
Oh
with their
my.
powers, he's gonna be brought back.
Okay, and then the magical colt is like for sure the Pegasus.
It's the Pegasus. This is
Yeah.
fucking as in Gwen's book is gonna be the fucking Koshi War. It's gonna be the
But
Little
but
Mermaid, Koshi,
but here's the
Pegasus
thing
thing.
though, is where does Elaine fall into that? Like I'm very confused.
Well, he's one of the sisters that I don't know. Like in one of the myths, like he takes all three sisters and
Oh
then he
really?
takes the wife too. So then like they have to save all four of them or whatever.
Oh
Um,
my god.
so I mean
Oh
it
my
could
gosh.
just be he takes Elaine at first and then but Gwen is part nymph. Koshi lives in a lake.
Yeah. So listen, it says in different legends describe Ivan with different wives, including Yelena the Beautiful, Vasila the Wise,
Vasilisa, yeah.
Vasilisa the Wise, and Maria Morevna.
Yeah.
So that's Elaine, Vasa, and Gwen, right?
Pretty much. Shit.
What the fuck?
I hate this. I hate this. I don't like this.
He is almost always portrayed either as the third son of a peasant family or as the third son of a king, and he had two stepbrothers, right? Oh my gosh, who is this girl? She did such a good
Is.
job.
He's the third son
He is the third son.
of a lord of Illyria.
Yes.
I don't like this.
Oh my gosh. The friends and foes of Ivan are often mythic figures, from magical animals to deathless beings. The most famous folktale featuring Ivan as a protagonist is the Tsarevich, Ivan the Firebird, and the Gray Wolf.
But then who would Baba Yaga be? It says in Slavic folklore, Baba Yaga is a supernatural being or one of a trio of sisters of the same name, who appears as a deformed and or ferocious looking woman. Clotho?
Is it? Do you think it's
Clotho?
Clotho? Deformed? Well, she's deformed.
She's deformed.
What the fuck? Okay, listen to this. In this story, a magical wolf, who would be the magical wolf, aids Ivan as he captures the Firebird and wins the hand of a beautiful Tsarevna. The Firebird inspired Igor's ballet of the same name. Is that the Firebird or is it Swan Lake?
I don't know. Well, because Azrael and like Vasa wouldn't be a thing, right?
No, they wouldn't. But I see what you're saying. He
Yeah.
marries the warrior princess.
Look what this says. This says, Baba Yaga usually flies around in a mortar, wields a pestle, and dwells deep in the forest in a hut. Weird.
The
She's in the
Weaver.
she's in the library, but it says she may help or hinder those who encounter or seek her out and may play a maternal role. She also has associations with forest wildlife, like the Suriel, maybe?
Oh, what? What is going? Okay,
Or the
what is going on?
Kelpie?
Or the kelp, but they killed all the kelpies. Remember?
Yeah, but the one that Nesta killed was like one of the last ones, it says, and like who was whispering on the wind for her to like get out of there, right? Wouldn't it be like the mother?
Right.
Didn't we
Yeah.
didn't we say that she was like the mother?
This is so interesting to me. Okay, we have to read each like different version because do you see there's like 4 or 5 different versions of this? So there's the Caesar and Vasilisa the Wise. I can't say it. Sorry, guys. Let's see what's going
She
on in
is a
this one.
many-faceted figure capable of inspiring researchers to see her as either a cloud, moon, death, winter, snake, bird, pelican, or earth goddess.
Earth goddess would be
A
Elaine.
lot of snakes in autumn. Death
There
talk.
are.
Cloud and moon. Birds. I don't know, earth goddess.
Earth goddess is Elaine. That is
To-
Elaine.
Totemic matriarchal ancestress. I don't know.
Wait, does it say he ends up with the Earth goddess?
No. This is like the Clotho, like the helper.
Okay.
The witch, wizard, whatever. But yeah. I mean, maternal role and fucking deformed. She's
Wait
the
a second.
fucking mother.
It's the
Help
Clotho
or
has to be.
hinder? Help
Yeah.
or hinder?
I find it interesting that she hinders though, because we've never seen Clotho be really evil, like evil. But interesting. Clotho,
I mean,
you
she
sneaky.
did promote Gwen to work with Meryl.
She did.
And she knows how awful Meryl is to her. So,
I don't know.
she's probably like toughen her up.
I know.
Fuck though. I'm like, I swear to God, they better not kill Azzy. I'm gonna be so mad.
Do you want to know something that's really weird? Is there must be like people on the internet who are like 5 steps ahead of us because there's fan art of Azriel dying. Have you seen it lately?
Yeah.
And it like did you understand where that was coming from though? Because I didn't.
Yeah, no, a lot of people have been saying that he was Yvonne.
They have been? Where?
Yeah, on Tumblr.
So they all have been saying that he's gonna die.
Not a ton of people, just a few, but yeah. But
Oh.
the foreshadowing doesn't go with Azriel though. Like it confuses me.
The foreshadowing you feel truly goes with Cassian.
Yeah.
What foreshadowing?
I don't really want to get into it till our video, but like I did the pages today, and like there's 2 pages of death foreshadowing for Cassian. That's just before all the Nesta stuff. Quotes and scenes and yeah.
Has Azriel had any foreshadowing himself? Like I don't feel like we really know very much about Az. Like we know very little about him. Right?
There was one quote that I screenshotted.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about it. It was during the High Lord meeting. And I was like, So, and it kind of goes with my other point, but we know about how there were repercussions if there's like a physical brawl during the meeting, and there was. Azriel. It says, no physical brawling. There had been a rule against that, but Azriel, with whatever power those shadows gave him, ... And then he continues to choke out Eris, like nobody can pierce his shield.
No one could pierce Azrael's shield?
No, Baron tries to with his fire. He's a fucking High Lord. He can't. Cassian tries to. He can't.
What do you think of that?
I don't know. And then there was a couple of like where obviously Azrael's shadows are swarming around him and stuff like that. And then there was one, it's the one with the prison where he's like, I can go to the prison, like they know what I am. I'm like, but that goes to my next point, which isn't the one I wanted to bring up first, but since it connects, I will bring up that first. So you know how obviously we have the Reese's Apollyon theory or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Thanatos is in Hewn City and Adis is roaming around somewhere as a cat, right? Yeah, they know me at the prison what I am.
I definitely think Azrael is Azrael fits like a Prince of Hell description too. Don't you think so?
And just Feyre being like, he's the knife in the dark, he's the one you want to look out for, and all this stuff. And like the way that Moore yanked her hand away from him, like that was so mean. I felt so
was-
bad for him.
It was awful. She
She
screws with
sucks.
him.
Like, she's a fucking princess of hell. Come on, you cannot tell me.
That's very interesting to me. I keep like trying to figure out who these other princes of hell are because we only have 4. I think we have 3.
Here's the quote I wanted. It's not about Azrael.
Oh, yeah.
Though. It says, Kier screamed at his Darkbringers to get back into position, plumes of shadows flaring from him.
Here. Oh, fucking Kier.
And then more, Cassian, I think, notes like, oh, like it was nothing like the dark power roiling inside of her.
Okay, so
her and Rhys are cousins, obviously.
her-
Not first
her-
cousins, though, distant cousins, so third, fourth cousins.
okay, and then Azrael is he's for sure Prince of Hell because he even like
He could
resides
be
in-
like his first cousin, like, oh, my mom knew Azrael's mom. How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
They have to
have
be.
to-
They had to have been sisters. They had
They
to have
had
been
to have been
sisters.
sisters.
Because Rhys's dad was probably just like, I'm not dealing with Illyria. Like, I'm not dealing with your family. Like, you're my mate now. Like, fuck your family. Like, you know? Kind of like Rhys and Nesta. Like, fuck your sister. Right?
So this is really interesting to me. Yeah.
The Kier one, I was like, ooh, Kier's powers. I forgot about that.
But wouldn't then Azrael be related to Moore?
That's probably part of the reason why she's like, ugh. Like, she has all the secrets. Her
She
and Rhys
knows.
have all the fucking secrets.
Oh, I know. And we never get like Rhys's POV, not really.
You know?
Like give me a little bit more of Rhys's POV rather than like
Can I just say one more quote about Rhys?
yeah, do it.
Which really drives our point home here. His beast form on the battlefield in ACOWAR.
Yeah.
This is Feyre's POV, remember. It says, it was a thing of nightmares, nothing human or fey in it. It was a creature that lived in black pits and only emerged at night to hunt and feast. The face, it was those creatures that had been carved into the rock of the court of nightmares that made up his throne, the throne not only a representation of his power, but of what lurked within him, and with the wings, ...
And with the wings.
Right.
Prince of the Pit.
Demon. Prince of the fucking pit.
Prince of the Pit. He has to be. He has to be.
He has to be.
They each the 3 Bat Boys have to be princes of different levels of hell.
I don't think Cassian doesn't have a special power. I don't think Cassian is.
You don't think Cassian? Because I'm just trying to think, like, could Cassian be? Definitely Rhys and Azrael.
Yeah. I don't think Cassian's like a part of it. I don't know.
It's interesting. I know, I agree. I mean, Cassian's like an outlier, but it's in a I'm not gonna say it because I'm not gonna support your point or your claim.
Here's another one about the pit and Rhys.
Ooh.
This is when Cassian is saving Feyre and Nesta from the Ravens or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Rhys actually decides to show up eventually.
Yeah. From wherever he is.
Yeah. It says, Cassian's voice at my ear saying, don't look, don't look. I didn't. I let him lead me away just as I felt Rhys arrive. felt him land on the floor of the pit so hard the entire mountain shuddered. I opened my eyes then, found him storming toward us, night rippling off of him, such fury on his face. Get them out. The order was given to Cassian. The screaming was still erupting behind us. I lurched toward Reese, but he was already gone, a plume of darkness spreading from him, to shield the view of what he walked into, knowing that I would look. The screaming stopped. In the terrible silence, Cassian hauled me out toward the dim center of the pit. Nesta was standing there, arms around herself, eyes wide. Cassian only stretched out an arm for her. As if in a trance, she walked right to his side, his arms tightening around both of us, siphons flaring, gilding the darkness with blood-red light. Then we launched skyward, just as the screaming began anew.
Oh my god. He's Prince of the Pit. He has to be Prince of the Pit. So I think this is all like a play. It's a play on words.
How did I forget this scene?
But also,
Shielded Farah's view.
That's what I was gonna say. Why did he steal her view? Why would he do that?
Because he was becoming the monster.
But why would he want his mate to see that?
Maybe he thought it would, like, traumatize her. I don't know. I mean, it kind of did on the battlefield later when she saw it. It was like, shit, a thing of nightmares. Like, a thing of nightmares, a thing from the black pit. What? And then he landed on the floor of the pit so hard the mountain shook. Come on. Come on.
Now, I mean, like, that's... You can't argue that, right? Like...
I screenshotted it.
Can you send that to me, please?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my Instagram.
I'll send you both of them.
I
was like, holy shit.
I'm like reeling right now. I read this like fanfic on Facebook and it has totally screwed with my mind. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the one where it was like Reese gets crowned High King and listen, but then he becomes like fully villainous and he's like, I don't like Feyre anymore. Did you read it?
I didn't, but now I want to.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. And it's like he's like
I swear he
was
wanted her for her power initially.
Yeah, it said like she went along with it. They all went along with it, and now like he just like had a smile. They were at like a High Lords meeting, and Reese just smiles when the like crown gets like on his head, and Tamlin and him lock eyes, and Tamlin nods his head, and then he winnows away, and all the High Lords get up out of their seat and they're screaming as Reese is like crowned High King. Like they're all screaming like furious to be betrayed. And Tamlin knew the whole time. And he got the fuck out. And the last sentence of the fanfic was like Reese knew him and Tamlin would become friends again because Reese finally was truthful and like admitted what he was.
Oh my god.
I like it's been living in my head rent free. The girl who wrote it, her name is Demi Cruz, I think. And it was fantastic, but it's really screwing with like my reality. But in it, he's like, I don't need Feyre anymore. She's the ugliest of the three sisters. And he says he's like, if I had to pick anyone, I would have picked Nesta. It was fucking crazy.
Well, see, the way that he hated Nesta so much just because she was more powerful than him. and okay. And
like a sexual tension, you mean? Like a love?
Well, no, so in my twisted mind, he saw what Feyre saw during the cauldron scene. I think he kind of knew what that was before he even confronted it with Cassian during her nightmare. I think he knew that she was more powerful than him.
Yeah.
And I think that, honestly, I think that's why he conceived Nyx with her in Illyrian form, because I think he knew like she was gonna die. But
Really? This is a new theory you have never talked about.
but the only hiccup I have with that theory is the fucking death pact.
Yeah. Huh.
But actually, if his mom is a witch and he is this powerful, he could probably just break the death pact. Right? I mean, it would be painful, but he could. He knows where the cauldron is. He's the only one. Him and Farah are the only people, and more are the only people who know
Yeah.
where the cauldron is. You know?
So this is just it's so weird. Also, I think that you are right. Like I was thinking about something I think you said you and Miriam were talking about it.
Mhm.
That the Norse mythology, or the Ragnarok mythology, that like hell, like we think of hell as like evil and literally hell, but I think it's all just a play on words.
Yeah.
Because like Prince of the Pit, Reese literally just has a pit with Bryaxis
This is
in it.
literally the Prince of the Pit.
It's literally a pit with some like mythical creature at the bottom. It's not like the worst layer of hell.
I should go through and just put pit and see how many times it fucking comes up.
That's literally what I was gonna say. Is like we should go through and like catalog like how many times pit is referenced and like what the actual sentence is, because I
we
don't
did
think
ravine.
it's not hell. It's literally just like places in the Akatar worlds. That's what it has to be.
So I have two very connecting points, but they're very different. So
Okay, let's hear 'em.
So about the whole Reese and Azriel are princes and Cassian isn't thing, because he doesn't have anything special about him, no offense.
My man, that's my man.
So Cassian bears scars from both the Blue Honest and Lanthus from
Yeah,
when he wrangled them into the prison, right? But he
right.
also says that Azriel helped him. Now, Azriel says that they know what he is in the prison. Azriel has no scars from that. He has no scars from Blue Honest. He has no scars from Lanthus.
Do we know that for a fact? Like, is it ever discussed?
Yeah, because Cassian discusses like his scar, like in
His
front of
scars.
everybody. He's like, oh, like Lanthus or whatever, and Reese is like, I forgot about him, and he's like, I didn't. And he like points out his scar, and then when
I love
they're in
that.
prison, and he's like shirtless, and it's the one like over his heart, scratch marks
No,
over
I
his heart
refuse.
from Blue
I
Honest, which again, why did the female eating monster want a male heart? Makes no sense. Make it make sense.
I refuse to believe it. I'm not
Warrior
gonna believe
heart.
it. No, I'm not gonna believe it. I refuse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said this could also be why Azrael and Reese both have extra shadow magic and powers and Cassian doesn't. And then this one is probably gonna throw you off, and I've been so excited to bring up this point the last 2 times we've filmed and we've run out of time. And I was like, fine, I'll fucking save it. So
Now I'm all
dad,
nervous. I'm really nervous.
so Moore's dad is Kier. Kier has
Okay.
shadows pluming from him. Moore has dark roiling magic. She has 2 blonde brothers, right?
Okay.
That are mentioned. Is Cormac her brother?
I fucking knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Holy shit.
Because remember his conversation with Rune that I brought up, where he said, like, how did your father not break you? Mine broke me.
Oh my god.
He wears his mask. Well, not all of Crescent City, but most of Crescent City too. He was like dealing with the fallout of Bryce being like, I'm not marrying you at the mating ceremony. And so he had to like go and tell his father, like, I'm actually not, like, she broke it off, like, I can't marry her, like, she has a mate or whatever. And like he was not seen after that for a while. Like the scene in Erd's temple when they needed help, like he wasn't answering his phone. He was still stuck with his father. And when he does show up, he's like, my father was furious or whatever. And we know that Kier tried to arrange the marriage with Moore and Eris, and that fell apart too. And he was pissed. So Cormac's like, fuck, I have to tell him mine fell apart too. Plumes of shadow.
Here's my thing though. Here's my problem is like, how are they walking in between the worlds? Because if that were the case, like the whole Crescent City thing wouldn't be like a big deal. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there are select like world walkers, aren't there? I know there are in Tog.
And Tog, apparently. We really gotta read Tog.
So there has to be at least one or two somewhere. And I'm thinking it's the special little shadow singer boys. I really don't want to be wrong about Lauren at all, but the fact that she might be Azriel's mom has stuck in my head.
But there's no evidence of that. Like, she's in the Crescent City world. That's like, what makes you think
Just
that?
like the roses thing, like Rose Hall, 5 roses, like dark hair. I don't know. Either way, whether she was his mom or Reese's sister, she would be hiding the wings.
But here's the thing, though, is like, if that were the case, then Azriel would know about Rune, right?
Maybe.
How could you hide a whole stepbrother? Like, that seems almost impossible to me, right? And also, like, if that was the case,
Well, how could you hide a whole child?
did you lock everything up?
How could you hide a whole child in front of the daddy's face for 400 years? Alien. Like, they're all
Helian's
like
stupid,
step
so
siblings. Like, I mean,
they are. They're all kind of related, actually.
related
But
stuff.
also, like, he looks like Reese.
Well,
like,
the only reason maybe not Azriel, but Cormac has to be a world walker. Because remember Rigelis says that her star will glow in the presence of an undiluted bloodline?
Yes.
It actually didn't glow for Azriel.
Bryce's star did not glow for Azriel?
I don't think so. I don't think it was it glowing when she got there? I don't think it was. I don't think it was because he just kind of scooped her up and brought her, like, blindfolded her and brought her to the house. I don't think it was glowing.
So, but we don't know for a fact, like, that it wasn't glowing. It just, like, wasn't mentioned.
Let me see. Hold on.
Okay, but then if that's the case, like, if it wasn't glowing, the star only glows for Faye from her home planet, right? That's the whole thing. So that further, like,
It
supports
actually
our theory.
It actually might have. I only read it like once. My world, my mate. Just kind of like going over this really quick. Yeah, it really can't be Azriel because he, like I said, he was so terrified of Truth Teller when he started to like hum and shake and glow. He like dropped it on the carpet.
Well, I mean, give me another reason why you think Az could be, or Lauren's mom, Lauren could be Az's mom.
I don't know. I just saw a couple people saying that, and I was like, maybe. Yeah, Bryce. They were beautiful, but thoroughly old-fashioned clothes. Like the stuff they wore on Avalon. No shit, because you're in Avalon.
That's actually a really good point. Wait a second. I'm gonna have you ever looked up like the actual name Avalon?
I was going to, and I didn't.
I'm going to right now.
Syrup. What does Avalon mean? It means apple tree
Does it really?
or island of apples.
Islands of apples? What?
That's like the fucking
Weird.
autumn court, though.
What
What?
does
That's
that
the
doesn't
fucking
even,
autumn. What?
I
Old
wonder how
Cornish
she wait.
word meaning apple tree. What the fuck? That's so weird.
It's a mythical island within Arthurian legends, intimately connected to the Arthurian cycle. It is often portrayed as a realm of paradise. That doesn't sound right.
Heaven? Hell?
Right?
I don't know. I don't know. But, freaking, why did this?
It's interesting where King Arthur is believed to have been transported after his final battle. Some versions of the legend suggest that Avalon as the birthplace of Arthur's sword Excalibur.
Gwydion.
Yeah.
Duh.
It's also a realm of healing or rebirth. It is associated with mystical qualities, offering a transformative space where wounded or mortally injured warriors can find restoration. Interesting. Hmm. Avalon is where the sacred and divine converge. It is a realm with thin boundaries between the physical and spiritual worlds, allowing for a deeper connection with higher powers and spiritual energies. So here's what I don't understand is so I can't figure it out. Is Bryce in a dream state? Is she like Sleeping Beauty and she's like asleep and this is all a dream and that's why Crescent City is like the technology is amazing, right? But that wouldn't
No. Yeah, so it doesn't, like when Azrael blindfolds her and everything, like it doesn't mention that her star is glowing at all. Adis.
Interesting.
Trying to read really fast. What level is this? The pit? The chasm?
Yeah. She said that?
Yeah. Fucking Amarin. Another wingman. Is this hell? I need to see Adis. Is this world hell? So,
Well,
like, I
Amarin,
don't know. I don't know if Amarin is lying or not because twice in Akawar she said, "Oh yeah, I lied. Oh yeah, I lied." Twice in Akawar.
I was literally just gonna say to you, what if Rhysand is like gonna bamboozle Amarin and be like, I knew you were the Asteri the whole time, and I have you trapped here and you're in hell. Fucking welcome. I'm gonna kill you. But he brought her back in the cauldron, so that can't be right.
Oh my god.
No, I think like honestly though, like what if Rhys is like, Amarin, you do know these people. You just
Like,
didn't
you
know
do
their
know
real
these
names.
I was so frustrated because she said Adis, she said Apollyon, she did not say Thanatos. Like, if she had just said Thanatos, at least Rhys would have known. Farah maybe would have been like, I think I've heard that name before. Like, somebody more. Like,
Well, more
Where's
Mor's not
Adis?
in
Where's
the
Adis?
scene, is she?
Apollyon, then. Surely you know the Prince of the Pit. I do not know of such people. This world is not hell. But it kind of is. The way that Reese has you all fucking snowed, I just can't.
I will be honestly like I'll be shocked if that's the plot
Oh my
twist.
god. How can it not? How can it not after those two things that I just said with Reese and the pit?
Well, I find it really odd that he shielded his view from his mate.
Yeah.
Was weird. That's fucking weird.
I think he went all Crystallos on those ravens, honestly. All Weaver and you know.
But if he's Prince of the Pit, like who is Bryaxis then? You know what I mean? Like he's like I don't know.
Bryaxis is definitely maybe one of Thanatos's creations as well.
Yeah.
We know
it
he created the
probably-
Hell Beasts.
Yeah. He created like a lot of stuff.
I don't know if you saw the reel that I did earlier today. Did you? About
I haven't been on my phone at all until like
okay.
this afternoon.
So I did a reel about how I said one of my biggest clues that Reese could be Apollyon is that Thanatos lives in Hewn City, and even if Hybern isn't the Underking, Hybern possessed some of his Hell Beasts. And wouldn't he kind of have to let his High Lord know that he was giving the enemy some of his creations? Like, Reese
But that
wouldn't
doesn't
notice, like, hell beasts crawling out of the night court, like, what? Like, Hybern retrieving stuff to fight him, like, it doesn't make sense. Because in Crescent City, Rigelis says Thanatos created the hounds. Hybern had some of the hounds. Unless it goes with my theory that Thanatos is, like we said, the outlier brother, and he is just done with being stuck in Hewn City and wants to join the Asteres cause.
Yeah, I want to read something to you, and I want you to tell me who you think it sounds like. Hold on. Because now I'm having second thoughts on something, and I want you.
Okay.
Hold on, let me pull up Sky and Breath real quick. My Apple Books. Oh, here we go. Okay. I got scared. I lost all my stuff. I had to get a new phone because my old one broke.
I don't know how they're gonna fit this whole plot line and the whole Spring Court plot line in this one book. I'm scared because we have the Ethan and the Fendir heir thing. We have the Hawthorns being from the Spring Court. We have like Cormac and them being from the Night Court, and like Rune and everyone. And I'm like, what? How do these things connect? Like, I know that Reese and Tamlin are connected, Rune and Tristan are connected, but like, where does Danica fit into this? Where does Ethan fit into this? And the new heir, like Fendir heir, and then like we have the astronomer with who I still think is Koshi, because again, Ethan's like, no sign of the astronomer still. Too bad, he was in the mood for blood tonight. Because the astronomer was talking to Azriel, being like, I've been preparing for you, boy. For 3 months.
Oh, what you just said debunked one of my crazy crackpot theories. Crackhead, whatever, crackpot. I don't know.
Crackhead.
Thanatos' tightly curled black hair was cropped close to his head, displaying the handsome, unsmiling face above the powerful body, but bedecked in dark ornate armor. He gazed right at Bryce. So I debunked myself twice, actually. I was gonna say, does Thanatos sound like anyone to you? Any character that we know?
Baxian? Were you gonna say Baxian?
I was gonna say Azriel, actually.
Azriel? I don't think his hair is described as curly. I think it's like wispy or whatever, but
like wavy kind of. He's got like wavy short hair.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also like Thanatos gazed right at Bryce, and like Azriel would have known who Bryce is.
So I was actually gonna bring up that quote. That's one of my
Oh.
notes.
Were you really?
It says hold on, where is it?
Like very interesting. Because I was like, is Thanatos like another name for Azriel, and he just. But that's too crazy.
So this is where I kind of spiraled a little.
I just spiraled.
So Thanatos looks at Bryce, right?
Mhm.
And it says he looked right at her, ripped away skin and bone to the being beneath. And what does that sound like to you?
Hello, does she have an animal form? Is this what we're talking about?
But doesn't that sound exactly like what the Ouroboros does?
What do you
The Ouroboros mirror? You look into
So where
it
you
and you see the beast beneath, and it can drive you mad.
So what are you trying to say? Are you saying that Thanatos is the Ouroboros mirror or something?
I'm saying that maybe he created it with his gifts. And if it is an heirloom of Kyr's household, and before, or the last owner of it was the Weaver, who is a death god, I feel like they're kind of all one family line.
They have to be. They all have to be. Like, how do you?
So, all right. So, Azrael, Reese, and Moore, let's say they're all cousins, right?
Yeah.
Koshi, the Bone Carver, and the Weaver were siblings.
Okay.
They had children. They would be cousins. Down the line, Moore is Reese's distant cousin. The Ouroboros mirror belonged to the Weaver in their old castle when they were death gods. And it's now an heirloom of Kyr's bloodline. An heirloom of Kyr's family line, it says. So that means Moore's line descended from the Weaver.
Okay.
And I'm thinking Reese's line descended from the Bone Carver, which is why the Bone Carver showed Feyre their son.
Okay.
And that means that Koshi, with all his shadows, it means Azriel would have descended from Koshi,
And Koshi.
the
Huh.
older, most powerful death god. Which is why everyone is terrified of Azriel's shadow singing powers. Even the people of Valaris, like I've said before, he says like, oh, they'll talk to Cassian, and Cassian's like, oh, like whatever in the city, and they're very like apprehensive about me still because of the shadows. So I was like, I think I figured it out.
I like it, but like
Distant cousins. Here, like, it was basically confirmed. It's confirmed that Kyr's family line started with the Weaver.
I'm trying to like.
The Bone Carver says, like, oh, it was my sister's like favorite possession, and she used to look at it in her room in our black castle. He goes, Kyr possesses it. And then he's like, an heirloom of his family line. I'm like, Bone Carver, dude, you dropping the hints here. And this was when, like, he wasn't even carving a bone yet. He was just giving them info.
Spilling the tea already.
Spilling the
like
tea.
And nobody realizes it.
I was trying to hyper fucking analyze everything the bone carver said because everything was a hint to something.
But here's my thing. So the
And we
bone
know-
carver.
And we know Princes of Hell can have kids.
Totally. They
Now.
totally can have kids.
Because, again, Thanatos and his unruly daughter. So it would make sense that the original death gods kind of evolved just into Guardians of Hell, right? Princes of Hell.
So here's what I'm thinking. I like your theory. I like your theory.
I want to make a whole fucking family tree now. Like I did with Thea.
Your family tree was so cool. I was like, holy shit.
There's a couple I couldn't add, but yeah.
So what if the bone carver is Theon? And hear me out, right? Okay, so Theon, remember, I forgot who he was talking to, but he said that remember when he was like smiling sadly talking about the was it
Fae
the
warrior.
archer?
The Fae warrior.
The Fae warrior, and he said like she would have been my salvation had not my fate been predetermined before I came to this world, right?
No, so he said if I hadn't chosen my fate long before she came to this world.
Before she came to this world. Well, it's kind of the same.
But like
right?
if Theon was married to Thea, like that doesn't really match up, right?
But what if, oh, that's true. I was gonna say, what if that is?
Because his Fae warrior was the one that descended down the human bloodline, which is where we think the Archerons are descended from. Like the original Luna from Crescent City. We don't really know like her name or whatever, but I find it funny that in Crescent City, the Asteri erased Thea from their history, and in Prythian, they erased Theon from their history. And in Prythian, like, they don't know the name of Thea. They just know Theon and his wife.
I think that Rhys might descend from Theon. He has.
I don't know.
Because
so, like, it's weird.
Say that like
Crescent
he was
City...
a false. No, someone was a false Starlight Prince or something. Like stole. Peleus was.
So Thea and Fionn were married. They had Helena and their other daughter. She betrayed him with Adis. I'm believing that she had the other daughter with Adis.
Yep.
And so in terms of Helena, Peleus forced her into marriage and then like raped her to have children. And because she was a starborn princess, he deemed himself a starborn prince.
Yeah.
And then obviously Thea hated him for what, I guess, I would assume, for what he did to her daughter. And then when the war came, Thea chose the side of the Princes of Hell. Peleus chose the side of the Asteri. And then when he was on the side of the Asteri, he killed Thea. And Adis was pissed.
He should be.
So then he had Apollyon kill Peleus.
Yes.
And we don't know what the fuck Helena was doing this whole time. Or where she is.
No, we don't know
or where the other daughter is. Which we believe to be Jessica, right?
I think it's Jessica.